The NFL offseason is once again exploding with rumors, speculation, and massive expectations. And when one of the most trusted insiders in football starts hinting that big trades could be on the horizon, fans across the league immediately start asking the same question. Which teams are about to make a blockbuster move? Which stars could be wearing new uniforms next season? And how could these potential deals reshape the entire NFL landscape? Because when insiders like Adam Schefter start teasing major activity, it usually means something big is brewing behind the scenes. And here on Touchdown Talk 360, the place where we break down the biggest NFL rumors, trades, roster moves, and off-season drama, we're diving deep into the latest speculation about upcoming trades, what teams might be involved, and why the next few weeks could completely change the balance of power across the league. Because the 2026 offseason has already been one of the most unpredictable in recent memory, thanks to a massive jump in the NFL salary cap, which has created new financial flexibility for teams that were previously struggling to keep their rosters together. And that means front offices across the league suddenly have more room to chase elite players, restructure contracts, and explore trade opportunities that may not have been possible in previous seasons. And according to insiders, several franchises are actively discussing deals that could involve star wide receivers, dominant pass rushers, and even high-profile quarterbacks. One of the reasons trade rumors are heating up right now is because teams are entering a critical window between free agency and the NFL draft, a time when general managers carefully evaluate their rosters and decide whether they need immediate upgrades or if they should focus on building through young talent. And this is where trade talks often accelerate, because a team that feels one player away from contention may be willing to sacrifice draft picks or future assets to land a proven veteran that can deliver results immediately, while another team might decide to move a star player in exchange for multiple draft picks if they believe it's time to reset or rebuild their roster. Across the AFC, several contenders are reportedly exploring aggressive moves, with teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and Miami Dolphins all rumored to be evaluating potential trades that could strengthen their championship chances. And when you consider the level of competition in the conference, with quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson leading elite offenses, every roster decision becomes incredibly important, because the margin between winning a playoff game and missing the postseason entirely can be extremely small, and adding one impact player could dramatically shift those odds. Meanwhile, in the NFC, teams are also watching these rumors closely, because a major trade in the AFC could trigger a chain reaction across the entire league, forcing other contenders to respond with moves of their own. And franchises like the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and San Francisco 49ers have all shown in recent years that they are willing to make bold decisions when they believe it can push them closer to a Super Bowl run. Which is why analysts are paying close attention to every report coming from league insiders, knowing that even a small hint from someone like Schefter could signal that negotiations are already happening behind closed doors. Wide receivers are often at the center of these rumors, because the modern NFL places enormous value on explosive passing offenses. And when a top-tier receiver becomes available, even if it's just speculation, the entire market can shift almost overnight, with teams scrambling to position themselves for potential deals. And this is especially true for franchises with young quarterbacks who need reliable weapons to accelerate their development, meaning a trade involving a star receiver could instantly elevate an offense and create new matchup problems for opposing defenses. Defensive stars are also generating buzz, particularly elite edge rushers who can disrupt opposing quarterbacks and change the momentum of games. Because in today's pass-heavy league, the ability to pressure the quarterback without relying on constant blitzing is one of the most valuable traits a defense can have. And if a team believes it can acquire a pass rusher who consistently wins one-on-one battles, that move alone could transform their defensive identity and improve their chances of competing against high-powered offenses. Another reason these trade rumors are gaining momentum is the approaching NFL draft, because draft picks are often used as trade currency when negotiating deals for established players. And teams that hold multiple selections or valuable early-round picks may be more willing to include those assets in exchange for proven talent, especially if they believe their roster is already strong enough to compete immediately, while rebuilding teams might see the draft as the best opportunity to acquire young players and reset their long-term strategy. The financial aspect of trades also plays a huge role, because while the rising salary cap has created more flexibility, teams still need to carefully structure contracts and manage long-term commitments to avoid creating problems in future seasons, which means every potential trade involves complex negotiations about salary, guarantees, and cap implications. And sometimes the biggest obstacle in a deal isn't the player's value, but how the contract fits into each team's financial plan. For fans, these rumors create an exciting but unpredictable environment, where every new report can spark debate, speculation, and endless mock trade scenarios on social media, sports talk shows, and online forums, with supporters imagining how their favorite teams might look if a superstar suddenly joined the roster. And fantasy football managers are also watching closely, because a major trade can dramatically change a player's value depending on the system, quarterback, and surrounding talent in their new environment. It's also worth remembering that not every rumor becomes reality, because trade negotiations are incredibly complicated and often fall apart due to disagreements over compensation, contract terms, or simply a change in strategy by one of the teams involved. But the fact that insiders are openly discussing potential deals suggests that front offices are actively exploring options, which means the possibility of a blockbuster move remains very real as the offseason continues to unfold. One of the most fascinating aspects of NFL trades is the ripple effect they create across the league, because when one team acquires a star player, it often forces rivals to adjust their own plans, whether that means pursuing another free agent, negotiating a contract extension with a key player, or even exploring trades of their own to keep up with the competition. And this domino effect can sometimes lead to multiple major moves within a short period of time, turning what initially seemed like a single trade into a league-wide reshuffling of talent. As the off-season progresses and more information emerges, fans should expect the rumors to intensify, especially as teams approach important deadlines related to the draft, roster cuts, and training camp preparation, because those moments often create pressure for general managers to finalize deals and secure the players they believe can make the biggest difference on the field. And when that pressure builds, surprising trades can happen very quickly, sometimes catching fans completely off guard. Here on Touchdown Talk 360, we'll continue tracking every rumor, insider report, and confirmed deal as the situation develops, giving you the analysis and context you need to understand not just which players might be moving, but why these decisions matter for teams, divisions, and the overall race for the Super Bowl. Because in the NFL, one major trade can change everything, from playoff predictions to fantasy football rankings. And with insiders hinting that big moves could be coming soon, the next few weeks could become one of the most exciting and unpredictable stretches of the entire offseason. So stay tuned, because if Schefter's hints are accurate, the league might be on the verge of some massive trades that could reshape the future of multiple franchises.